right, this is obviously the back of the amplifier with the back taken off. Power tubes, preamp tubes. Right now these have EL34s in them, but you can put some 6L6s in. And normally to do this in a professional situation, like in a recording studio, or for the higher level bands touring, you would have to take the amp into a proper technician to change the tubes and to bias them and make sure the tubes are tested. TSC technology by Hughes&Kettner is an incredible new invention, and it's basically like having your own private tube technician, somebody who can do all that stuff for you. So for example, one of the things this does, if you blew a tube up, if we're on stage and a tube blows, this amp will keep running. It won't shut off. It'll keep running on the other tubes. It'll flash. It'll let you know and let your guitar technician know. Or if you're at home, it's going to let you know if one of the tubes is not working or needs to be replaced. And there you go. You could pop another tube in, or a different tube or a replacement tube, and within 2 minutes of warming the amp up, they're biased and ready to go. Another benefit of the TSC technology is that you can basically customize your tone with tubes, not only the sounds and programming them into the amp and the different amp sounds and effects and EQ and everything, but you can actually change the tubes. So you can put any tubes in that you want. And the cool thing is you can try them out in the TSC technology. Your little tube technician is going to take care of everything else that you would normally have to have a professional do for you. Again, in the back of the amp, underneath the tube section, you've got this section, and this is a great one for metal players. For all players, but for me personally, it's fantastic. They've got so many different varieties of speaker outputs in here. You can have, on this bank here, you can have 2 8-ohm cabinets, which is, some companies don't seem to put that in their amps. You could have 2 16, or you can have a 16-ohm cabinet in here. Again, there's 5 different output jacks for the speaker cabinets. Okay, under the speaker output section, you got the copy memory section. Simple 2 buttons, stick to amp or amp to stick, meaning you take your USB stick, you plug it in. Stick to amp means you're taking the settings that you have saved on a stick, putting them on your amp, and the one beside amp to stick is obviously the opposite. The sounds that you programmed into your amplifier, you can store them, save them on your USB stick with amp to stick. You just press and hold the button for a couple of seconds, and it automatically does the transfer for you. Okay, and beside the copy memory section, there's a simple on-off effects jack, so you can switch effects on and off. All right, beside the effects jack, there's a stage board or pedal board jack, and that's of course where you plug your pedal board into. Okay, beside the MIDI through and the MIDI in, there's your basic effects loop, send and return, and -10 +4 switch, depending on what kind of gear you're hooking up to your amp, external gear. And beside it is the revolutionary sensitivity control. Hard, soft, very self-explanatory. Soft is for when you're bringing your volumes down on your guitar and you don't want the gate to cut your sound off, and hard is when you get that real loud crunchy sound. And that's it. Okay, so this is the Hughes&Kettner Coreblade. If you're a metal guitar player, whether you're a professional touring guy or girl, or you're in your basement or you're jamming on the weekends at clubs, it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're playing metal music, you got to check this amp out, because I've been playing for a lot of years. Put out, what, 20 years worth of CDs with Annihilator. I know a lot of famous cool metal guitar players, and they're all loving this amp. They love this shit. So you got to check this amp out.